Trustee Colwood,
Present.
Trustee Dana Clendenin,
Present.
Trustee Dorsey,
Present.
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Russell,
Present.
Trustee Smith,
Present.
Chairman Barry,
Present.
6 present, 2 absent.
Okay, so we have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is comments and suggestions from retirees. Do we have any comments and suggestions from retirees?
Mr. Moses,
Okay,
there's a significant amount of retirees on the line, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, some of them are still getting their audios connected, so you could check back in like 5 minutes.
some of them are doing what?
I think some of them are having some audio issues. But I can see from the participant list that there's significant amount of retirees.
Okay, I know I received a communication from a retiree. I think he's a member of GWF, indicated that they wanted to make a proposal to the board. And I had suggested to them that they introduce the issue to the board at this particular point in time in the board meeting, and they indicated that they would be here. So I don't know, Attorney Russell, you have any insights into that?
Yes, and good morning to everybody. I think GROF is interested in making a presentation to the board. So I think that is Randolph Thomas, and he is the person representing GROF. So I would default to
Okay,
before the
so
board.
could we move on and maybe come back to that issue? Any objection to?
Mr. Thomas, yeah, appears in line.
He's online?
I don't know if his.
Yes, I am online. I'm observing. I've been here waiting a minute in your meeting room. I think Miss Helen Hart is also here. Miss Hart, who is the president of the GROF organization, would probably would like to say a few things before I do, if you will allow.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, members of GRS board. I'm Helen Hart. I'm the president of GROF, Government Retirees United for Fairness. And this morning we come before you to make a presentation from GROF. And we made a similar presentation about 2 years ago, asking for GROF support and this venture. At the time we didn't get the support, so we are back again trying to do the same thing. So we are here today to make a presentation because nothing have changed, as we all know, with the system. It's just as bad or worse than it was 2 years ago. So this morning, Randolph Thomas, who is a board member of GROF, would like to make a presentation on behalf of GROF.
Good morning, gentlemen. Greetings. I'm Randolph Thomas. I want to thank you for
Gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies.
good morning, yeah, gentlemen. and ladies.
Point of information, Chair. Point of
Yes,
information, Chair.
yes, point of information.
What is the protocol for proposals that come in front of the board? Are they supposed to be presented prior to so that we can review the documents prior to?
So
We have a slot on the agenda to comment some.
So,
retirees.
if I may clarify Mr. Dorsey's question, this is not the proposal. We are introducing the idea to the board members to give us the opportunity to present a proposal. And so this is a preliminary introduction of the issue. And we want to request the chairman and the board to give us the opportunity to come before your fiscal subcommittee to make a proposal for the support of the board. And so please forgive us for that misstatement that we are presenting a proposal right now. So I'm a retiree, and I really want to talk, give you my appreciation, express my appreciation to you for your willingness to serve, because like these are frightful times. My grandmother used to like to talk about the story of Esther, about how Esther stood up in frightful times to save the people of Israel. To me, I really don't know what I would be able to do if we have a significant cut, and because of that, the graph is proposing the problem is.
Hey.
Is that person muted? No?
Yes, they are.
Thank you. So the graph is coming before the GRS board to request financial support for an initiative that we see as the only game in town for perhaps saving the GRS from financial collapse. And we are asking your acquiescence to allow us to make a proposal before your fundraising committee. The proposal involved going after a significant sums of money that we believe that is owed to the government of the Virgin Islands via the gasoline excise taxes. And we thought very long and hard and put in a lot of work to put together a budget that we believe is rational, is efficient. We know that the concern of the board and the concern of the GR is a fiscal one, and we want you to be serious about your fiduciary responsibility, and so we don't take our requests lightly. And so through this, based on my request, I'm requesting to the chairman of the board and the members of the board that the graph and the special subcommittee be given an opportunity to make a presentation of this initiative, requesting funding from the GRS board for this initiative. And if there are any questions, I'd be willing to respond to them. Otherwise than that, I shall forward an email to the I don't know exactly what your protocol is, but I would forward an email to your chairperson and begin communication about scheduling such a proposal.
Point of information, Chair.
Yes,
I do have two quick questions. I don't have a copy of the first document that Mr. Thomas is referencing, so I'd like a copy of that. I'm not sure what committee you're going to put this in, but Mr. Thomas, just for the record, how much money are you asking for?
It's only $60,000, and the $60,000 is every item is laid out in an Excel sheet. So the fiscal committee and the board will, would have a really transparent process and be able to see what the commitment the board will be making.
I would just like to see what it is. It's obviously not a big ticket item. Not sure what happened last time. It didn't go through, but the sooner I can get something to review, then I guess the chair would put it in committee and we go from there. But I don't have a problem. I just need to see what it is.
I certainly appreciate your comment, Mr. Dorsey. I honestly believe it's a very rational, logical, and must-done action, and I appreciate your preliminary comment of support after reviewing the documents. And those documents, like I said, would be forwarded summarily with communication with the chairperson of the board.
Go
So
ahead.
can you get those documents to us before the end of the day?
Yeah, because it was kind of proven, yeah. Mhm.
Mr. Thomas?
Yeah. Oh, certainly.
Well, this is a communication to the board chair, right?
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks again, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey. So if there are no other questions, I'm gonna just.
Oh, see, there was, yeah.
Somebody need to mute the mic. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Thomas. I'll be expecting the communication from you. We'll take it from there.
Thank you very much. Good day. Be safe and be well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment? Any other comments and suggestions from active members? Okay, Secretary's minutes.
Point of information, Chair.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, there are still people trying to, I guess, get into the system. So will they be allowed to come with their questions later on during the course of the meeting?
No. No, we take it to the next meeting.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, you're looking for a motion to approve the secretary's minute?
Yes.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the secretary minutes regular at 5/27/21, May 27, 2021.
We have a motion. We have a second. Moved on
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
trustee Dorsey,
Yes.
trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Russell,
Abstain.
trustee Smith,
Not Russell. Not Russell. Not
trustee
Russell.
Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Barry,
Yes.
4 yes, 2 absent, 1 abstain.
Thank you. So the minutes are accepted and approved. Communication and correspondences.
Yes. Good morning. The first piece of correspondence is from Committee on Finance. It's in regards to an appearance on Thursday, June 24th in St. Croix Chambers. It's actually going to be done by Zoom. It's in regards to a bill that is sponsored by Senator DeGraff, bill number 340067, an act amending Title 33, Subchapter L, Part 1, Chapter 3 of the BI Code to increase their hotel room tax by 2.5% and remit 5% of all monies collected to the government of the Virgin Islands. A response was due yesterday. However, I held off and asked for a delay so that the board can, I'd send a copy to the board so the board can weigh in on this. A copy of my draft response is part of the meeting in the regular session. So I'll leave it there and wait for some comments from the board. Other piece of correspondence was dated June 7, 2021 to the Attorney General, Dennis George. It's in regards to notice to quit, in regards to delinquency in the electrical bills and the rents. And this was a demand for payment. So she has been advised of the amount of the overage and demand for payment. That ends the communications.
All right. Any questions on the board? Any comments? All right. So the next item is the chairperson's report. I'd like to use the opportunity to officially welcome our new board member, Tony Russell. Without question, the board would benefit from his well-known legal talents and, more importantly, his commitment to public service. I mean, his whole career, as I know it, has been one of public service, and I want to thank him for stepping up to the plate. As most of you know, his election came on the third try after they had difficulty filling that slot on St. Croix. And so I just want to thank him and congratulate him. In the spirit of openness, I just like to let him know that when I told my son I was getting on the board, and especially when he's becoming chairman, he wished me condolences. So I think you should, I'm sure that won't scare you away, but just in the interest of transparency.
Thank you.
The other comment I'd like to make is that I read in today's media, and I was encouraged to hear that the governor is willing to secure bond financing to help with the GRS funding. I find that to be particularly welcome news, particularly after the letdown I had when I saw that the 2020, the budget had $10 million GRS for 2023. We all know we pay out about $11 million every two weeks. So I was heartened to see or to hear the governor's willingness to issue bonds by the PFA. Of course, they still need to see the words turn into action. That's a hopeful sign. Hopefully, it's understood that that's just one piece of a bigger financing package that has to be put together if you are to sustainably refund or refinance the GRS unfunded liability. So that constitutes my report. The next item is the administrator's report.
Good morning again. On May 25th, I attended a presentation by a marketing consultant at Havenside Mall Oversight Committee. On May 26th, I attended a community business forum, part 3, presented by the Office of the Governor. On June 4th, I attended a municipal finance presentation hosted by the VI Public Finance Authority and the Governor and his financial team. On June 9th, I conducted one-on-one meetings with Havenside Mall tenants. On June 10th, I did a site inspection with the owner representative of the newly erected metal buildings and the fencing and gates at the Havenside Mall. On June 11th, last Friday, I attended a USVI Hotel and Tourism Association annual general meeting. Havenside Mall is a new member. Governor Albert Bryan was the guest speaker. Maybe Mr. Chairman, maybe he listened to me because after the meeting, I spoke to him about doing a POD. So hopefully he would, take your advice also. As far as retirement applications, there are 118 applications that are still outstanding. Those are for 79 for 2021 and 34 for 2020. Those are the majority of the applications that are standing. There are a couple that goes back prior to 2020. So we are doing pretty well. In 2021, we have, out of the 97, we have processed 18 already. And this includes the central government and the semi-autonomous agencies. Disability certificates, there were 28 pending cases. We received 15. So 15 retirees were reinstated on the payroll for June 15, and 13 life certificates are still outstanding. As far as refunds, from October through May, we have paid out $4.4 million in refunds. The majority of those refunds are for the regular refunds, which is just about $4.4 million. Death benefits, we have paid out $1,477,401.29. Majority of those death benefits, sorry to say, but are for active members. As far as the annuity payments are concerned, so far for the fiscal year through June 15, 2021, we have paid out $161,003,269.56. Number of retirees as of June 15 payroll, 8,698. Number of retirees added to the payroll for the fiscal year through June 15, 237. The number of retirees that were deleted from the payroll through the same period, 238. The gross retiree payroll for June 15th was $10.8 million. Active employees through May 2021, 8,792. As far as our member loans portfolio, we still have in inventory 2,444 units. Total outstanding on our payroll portfolio, $28.2 million. The majority of the loans outstanding obviously are for active members, which is 1,573, of a total of 2,358. We do have 86 mortgages still outstanding. As far as our facility management, the St. Croix office complex, no major projects. All projects have been completed. No major issues to be reported. St. Thomas, we did receive the water pumps and the annual maintenance and filters installation were completed. Generator annual service completed for the hurricane season. Hip roof replacement, a pre-bid conference was held on June 8th. This is the second portion of the roof. First portion was completed. There were 3 potential bidders in attendance. Air conditioning project, hopefully to be completed very shortly by the end of August 2021. We started also another project, the drywall project, removal of the old water damaged drywall at the northern part of the 3rd floor. Anticipated completion is by July 16, 2021. Appraisals completed for St. Thomas and the St. Croix complex. I think that was been, so those appraisals were circulated to the board, or a report was given last month. As far as our collections, we have, for the month of May, we collected $82,222.69. $56,807.92 were for rental. Difference was for the electrical. Total fiscal year to date, we have collected $908,648.75. $507,216.32 is rental portion. The arrearages as of today, or as of the end of May, $201,055.44. Rental portion, $112,677.72. As I indicated in the correspondences, and notice demanding payment, notice to quit was submitted to the Division of Justice. The only issues with leases, I think, is with Department of Justice. That's a problem there. The update is the notice to vacate the premises was sent to them for $257K in back rent and electricity. To date, we haven't received those funds as yet. The Casino Control Commission update, Executive Director Marvin Pittman has advised that the finalization of the lease is under consideration and will respond in a few weeks. Those are only the major issues we have with leases. Division of Personnel, that lease is awaiting transmission to DOJ and the governor for signature. The Strategic Planning and Organization Development, there's a meeting that's supposed to be held very shortly with the governor. I think it's next week, within the week after next, in regards to their input, the financial team input in regards to the strategic planning organizational development, our strategic plan. Board retreat. The board retreat is scheduled for July 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's going to be by Zoom as last year because of the issues with the pandemic. The tentative agenda for day one, investment advisors, Makita Siegel, the actuaries, the auditor, Fort Smith and Company. For day two, governance and ethics by outside attorney, one of our litigation attorneys. Strategic plan, presentation by UVI. Maybe pending legislation and update on legislative subcommittee issues, and senior management presentations. Day three, continuation with senior management presentations, and the final day wrap up and action items. I would like to again request to the board that if they have items that they want to discuss in the agenda, any items other than what are being suggested. We don't really have to present. Senior management presentation is just going to give you what's happening within the units or the divisions, any problems we've been having, any accomplishments. I mean, I would rather see maybe some issues that the board have, burning issues that they would like to have on the board retreat. That's what a retreat is for, to sit back and reflect and come up with ideas and suggestions. Let us know, and we can make some shifts in the agenda. So I always do that to the board so that they will know it's not what I want, it's what the board would like to have at the retreat. So I'm just letting you know, just let us know and we can put it on the agenda for you for discussion. The new trustee orientation, our new trustee, Sleaze Attorney Russell. We do give an orientation. We are going to be contacting you, Senator Russell, shortly in regards to a couple of days that you might be able to be available. Usually it's about 2 hours a day for 2 days. Or maybe we can do it in 1 day for you and give you an update of an orientation of what the GRS is all about, governance, ethics, and a lot of different things. So someone will be contacting you shortly to see if we can probably get it in before the board retreat. Okay? That ends my communications. I mean my report.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have,
Point of information, Chair.
yes,
Hello?
yes, Mr. Dawson.
Yeah, I had informed you, Chair, that how do we establish the dates of the retreat? Because I was explaining I had a conflict on this 8th and the 9th, so I was asking you if the dates could have been changed because it just came about.
No, Mr. Neves, you go ahead. I don't think it just when you say just came about, what you mean?
Mr. Chairman, this was something over the years. It's always the first full week in July.
Okay, well, if that
You're on mute, Mr. Dawson.
no, he answered the question. That's fine. If that's the policy, then that's what it is. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I had a couple of questions, comments on your report, Mr. Neves. The first one has to do with the appraisal of assets.
Mhm.
And my question to you is whether those appraisals are going to increase or decrease or leave alone the asset values on our financial statements, on our books.
Well, it would, it would increase. I mean, when we get to 2021 financial, we haven't completed 2020 as yet. But there was a slight increase. But I guess in 2020 financial, they'll do a subsequent event, but it wouldn't, I think it would only be reflected on 2021 since the actual appraisals were done in year 2021.
Yeah, so any idea in the ballpark how much the increase is?
I would say about 1.5 million. It's not that much. I may be overstating it, but I know there was a slight increase with the facility here in St. Thomas. St. Croix, I don't think that was that much increase because there were not that much.
I think it's closer to $1 million, Mr. Neves.
$1 million, yeah, something like that. $1 million.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to take the opportunity to ask board members to submit to Mr. Neves any thoughts, any ideas about strategic issues. This is a retreat and the whole purpose of a retreat is to deal with strategic issues, not necessarily operational or processing, but strategic issues dealing with the strategic direction of the GRS. So I'd like to encourage submission of ideas or issues that we'd like to see addressed in the retreat. There's no other questions. We move along, Mr. Neves. Next item is flipping back to my agenda here. The treasurer's report or the committee reports. Are there any committee reports? I assume that's not. So the treasurer's report.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Jeremiah is not here today. She couldn't get through. And so I'll do the treasury report.
Okay.
This report is schedule of receipts and disbursements for the month ending May 31, 2021. For the month of May, loan repayment, $1,165,097. Fiscal year to date, $9,545,776. For the month of May, rents from tenants and utilities, $51,580. Fiscal year to date, $812,745. Employer retirement contributions for the month of May, $7,770,251. Fiscal year to date, $63,527,396. Employee retirement contributions, month of May, $4,187,949. Fiscal year to date, $32,682,512. Parking facilities, month of May, $660. Fiscal year to date, $7,160. Miscellaneous, month of May, $340,686. Fiscal year to date, $5,485,240. Collections, total collections for the month of May, $13,516,223. Fiscal year to date, $112,060,829. Disbursement, annuity payments, month of May, $22,674,122. Fiscal year to date, $175,827,087. Administrators expenses, month of May, $1,142,459. Fiscal year to date, $9,780,436. Personal loans, month of May, $15,314. Fiscal year to date, $145,371. Mortgage loans, month of May, $12,718. Fiscal year to date, $111,464. Retiree loans, month of May, $1,612. Fiscal year to date, $6,413. No auto loans. Refund of contributions, $877,710,000, month of May. Fiscal year to date, $6,024,288. Total disbursements for the month of May, $24,723,935. Fiscal year to date, $191,895,059. Net deficit, the month of May, $11,207,712. Fiscal year to date, net deficit, $79,834,230. We may add that for the month of May 2021, GRS collected $13,516,223, which is 55% of the $24,723,935 needed for expenses. This generated a shortfall within the month of 45%, or $11,207,712. Year-to-date collection was approximately 7%, or $8,282,502, less than the same period in fiscal year 2020. Year-to-date expenditure was reduced by approximately 1%, or $1,229,694 over the same period of fiscal year 2020. Year-to-date administrative expenditure was approximately 59% of budget. Due to the year-to-date shortfall of $79,834,230, GRS withdrew from its portfolio $74 million from the investment portfolio to supplement the inflow of cash and ensure that obligations of the agencies were met. Any questions on the schedule of receipts and disbursements for the month of May?
No questions. I guess the cash deficit situation continues. It's actually worse than the same period last year. So which is what we've been explaining over and over again. So then no surprises there. And any questions from any other board members?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, for the Havenside Mall, I would have Ms. LeBlanc, the accountant, do that presentation.
Okay.
Ms. LeBlanc?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. I apologize for that delay. Here is the report on Havenside Mall income and expenses for the month of May. The total rents for the month of May received is $119,519. Fiscal year to date, $1,215,507. Miscellaneous income for the month of May, nothing. Fiscal year to date, $428,120. Total collections for the month of May is $119,519. Fiscal year to date, $1,643,627. Disbursements for the month of May, personnel services, $78,092. Fiscal year to date, $716,303. For fringe benefits, for the month of May, $41,198. Fiscal year to date, $296,717. For supplies, the month of May, $9,212. Fiscal year to date, $70,179. Other services and charges for the month of May, $7,681. Fiscal year to date, $75,784. For utilities for the month of May, $811. Fiscal year to date, $30,591. Capital project for the month of May, $213,956. Fiscal year to date, $1,479,367. Total disbursements for the month of May, $350,949. Fiscal year to date, $2,668,942. Net deficit for the month of May, $241,430. Fiscal year to date, $1,025,314. We'd like to add that for the month of May 2021, Havenside Mall collected 34% of what is needed to cover expenses totaling to $350,949, of which $213,956 was capital outlay. The year-to-date collections for Havenside Mall is $1,643,627, of which approximately 76%, that totals to 76% of last year's collections of $2,152,441. $2,152,441, sorry. The year-to-date expenditure for Havenside Mall is $2,668,942, which is approximately 51% of the budgeted amount for the fiscal year. This ends the report for Havenside Mall. Are there any questions?
What was the last comment you said? Year-to-date expenditure?
$2,668,942.
Okay. So we are kind of, well, I guess we are what? We're 2/3 into the fiscal year and we are 51% of the budget. What about how is the collection compared to what we have budgeted?
The collections is less because of the pandemic. We have not collected that much rents from our tenants as compared to other years and what was budgeted previously.
Okay, I just like to see that the same calculation you did for the expenditure down below. We show that it's 51% of the budget. I like to see the same calculation for the collections.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think she has it because I've seen it. I think usually we would collect within a month over $600,000 a month. So obviously there's a deficit of over $5 million. The ideal regular collections would have been about 620 something thousand a month.
Yeah, I'm not asking about the regular ideal. We're talking about what we budgeted, because when we budgeted, we didn't budget at the regular ideal.
Right. Well, I guess I'll have to go back then to my schedules that I presented to you.
Okay. Any other questions? Board members? Okay. Hearing none. Investment officers report.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, other trustees. Today I'll be giving you an update of the investment portfolio and activity as of March 31st, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, we have to accept, there's a motion to accept the Treasurer's report.
I'm sorry. May I have a motion, please? Have a motion to accept the Treasurer's report.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the Treasurer's report.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey,
Yes.
Trustee Vega is absent, Trustee McDonald, absent, Trustee Russell,
Abstain.
abstain. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Barry,
Yes.
4 yes, 2 absent, 1 abstain.
Okay, so Treasurer's report is accepted. Carry on, Mr. Investment Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So for the month ending March 31st, 2021, total plan returned 0.8%. Our total fixed income portfolio returned 0.2%, a slightly underperform its benchmark, which is the Barclay Ag, by about 10 basis points. Our total alternatives returned 4%, and outperformed their benchmark by about 310 basis points. That outperformance was based on distributions that we received from our Measure Fund 4 and Fund 5. Pew Capital returned 0.4%. They slightly outperformed their benchmark by 3 basis points. And our US debt index fund returned approximately 0.3% for the month. Year-to-date total plan, we're slightly down, negative 0.2%. For the 1 year, we're up roughly about 4.8%. I don't have the fiscal year number here, but I think we're up about 2% fiscal year to date. And the all-important since inception number, we've been steadily at that 8.6% annualized return from since inception of the plan. If we move on to the NAV report, for the month ending May 31st, we ended the month at approximately 460 million. Bear in mind, I know Nikita has been reporting for the past couple of months. Our internal reports take into consideration our local assets excluding our member loan portfolio and also the office complexes. So you'll see a slight difference between what Mikita reported and what we internally reporting. There was no funds raised from any of the managers in the month of May. So we began the month of May at approximately $471 million at market value. We had a net cash flow of about 15 million. We had income of about 288,000. We had a gain in the portfolio of 3.6 million, which brought us to that ending market value of 460 million. As it pertains to investment management, custodian, and consulting fees for the month to date, we've paid 15,000. That was for custodial bank fees. Year to date, we've paid $134,000. 88,000 of that was for investment management, 31,000 for the investment consulting, and 15,000 for the custodian bank services. Fiscal year to date, we've paid $239,000. Investment management made up 176,000 of that. Investment consulting services, 31,000, and the custodian bank services was 32,000. Just a brief update on our securities lending, because we still actually participate in a securities lending program. Month to date, we collected $1,500. Year to date, we've collected $5,000, and fiscal year to date, we've collected $6,000. And I always like to take a note at the net asset value over time bar chart. If the trustees can see, we've steadily been declining from May 2012 at approximately almost $1 billion. We are now at that 460 plus, slightly plus million in the plan. So I like to call it the stair of decline, because as you can see, we've steadily been declining over the years. We continue to lose assets to pay benefits and expenses. Mr. Chair, that concludes my report for the day. If any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Yeah, I have a question going back to your step chart. So that's for May of 2012?
Yes, this is from May of 2012 to May of 2021. 2021, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's what, 9 years?
Correct.
So we've gone from almost $1 billion to what was that, 460 million?
If you add the values of the member loans and the office buildings, we're probably a little closer to 490 million.
Okay.
But Mr. Chairman, I would like to add that if you wanted to reconcile with Nikita, then right now, as far as liquid, we've got 385.6 million. Last month they reported 409 million. So if you want to reconcile with Nikita, Nikita does not include the Havenside Mall and in their
any of the local investments in there, right?
So really, we should, if we continue with Nikita's trend of reporting, we should be down to about 385.6 liquid.
Okay, point well taken. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Henderson, with the decline over that period, from May 12th to present, who's to blame?
Who's to blame? Well, I think it's pretty much clear. I mean, it's been debated. We've been for years going over it. The lack of funding to the plan has just exacerbated the situation in terms of we have to always go into the portfolio to withdraw assets to pay benefits and expenses shortfall, and that's basically just the lack of funding, the lack of proper contribution funding. for the most part.
So what is the other part?
I would say lack of funding is the main driver.
Okay.
Underfunding is the main driver. Because if you look back on the performance report, I mean, we have over an annualized basis from inception of the fund, we've averaged 8.6% return. And we've done it with a plan that's been pretty much constrained for the most part in that time period to just plain vanilla equity and bonds. So at that 8.6% from inception, we've done a pretty good job as a plan, and the board has done a pretty good job in terms of hiring investment managers and keeping their foot to the fire in what they need to do. So performance, it's definitely, in my view, is not an issue in terms of the shortfall and the debacle that the plan is now seeing itself in.
I appreciate your answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Do we need to accept that report also, Mr. Nibbs?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay, so we're into regular session, new business. The first item on the agenda is the discussion of bill number 340067.
Mr. Chairman, trustees, as I indicated in my communications, this was an invite from the Committee on Finance for the June 24th. And it's a bill that's sponsored by Senator DeGraff, and he wants to increase the hotel room tax by 2.5% and remit 5% of all monies collected to the GERS and for other purposes. I don't know what other purposes means. So I draft a short response and I submitted it for review before I submit it to the legislature. I would like to do that today because I'm late, 2 days late, and submitted it. I have asked for a delay so that I can determine if the board needs to do any input into the presentation. It starts out as, well, there are 4 questions that are asked. And support or opposition to the legislation. My response was the GRS is in support of any legislation that will generate dedicated revenues for the fund. Number 2, advantages or disadvantages to passing the bill. My response, the advantage to the GRS by passing the bill would be additional revenues dedicated to make benefit payments to the retirees. 3, economic impact, economic analysis of the proposed legislation. My response, based on our review and the analysis presented on the website of the Internal Revenue Bureau of Revenue Collections, for hotel tax, 19.8 million were collected for the 8 months in fiscal year 2021, 17.7 million in fiscal year 2020, and 20.5 million in fiscal year 2019. It appears that the hotel room tax collected in fiscal year 2021 will surpass the 20.4 million collected in 2019. Using fiscal year 2019 as a baseline, with a 2.5% increase in the tax and the 5% allocation to the GRS, we estimated over $1 million would be earmarked annually for the GRS. Number 4, recommendation to the bill. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, the GRS supports the proposed legislation for the reasons stated above. Now, when I attended the annual meeting of the Hotel Association on last Friday, the governor did mention this in his presentation, and obviously you're talking to the hotelers, and obviously they are in opposition to it. The governor is also, and I heard it on the radio, I heard the replay, he's in opposition also to the bill. So if there are any input, please let me know. to how I responded, because I'd like to get this out later today.
Question, Chair.
Go ahead.
In the future, can we just have the bill sponsor come and speak to the board prior to? Is that a possibility?
You need to speak to the bill sponsor.
No, I'm asking in the future in terms of protocol, can we have the bill sponsor come to our meeting so that we can speak at this point?
You need to address that to the bill sponsor. I mean,
No, I was asking the system to make the request, not me ask the bill sponsor, because I'm finding out about the bill as I'm here now. I'm asking in the future when proposals are coming to the GERS, can we at least have a platform here? That's all I was asking.
I'm not sure where we're going with this. I mean, this is a proposal from a senator, and he's inviting us to comment on it. He wasn't asking us for permission to introduce it, and we have an opportunity to comment on it.
We don't have an opportunity because the senator is not here who's proposing it. I was asking if they can come to this platform. Is that a problem to request through the system that they come to this platform?
I'm not going to request it. I mean, he has a hearing. You could attend the hearing and put your input in.
Legal counsel, Mr. Williams, am I saying something that's out of character? I just trying to understand what the chair is saying.
Well, good morning. I thought the chair was clear that he's not going to make the request to the bill sponsor to appear at the GRS board meeting. I'm not sure what else you wanted from that.
No, I was just saying that there be other proposals in the future. It seems like when the Senate asks us to appear, we appear. But I'm asking why we can't have it the other way. Have them come here and let's have a dialogue.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else going on with the chair, I don't know.
Mr. Chairman, in the past, before the senators, especially Senator DeGraff, because we have worked with him closely, and Kathy Smith can interject. He usually comes and he calls us. Sometimes he comes down and have a meeting with us before. So, I mean, if the chair, if the senator wants to do that, he can come before, he can call us, and he can come before he even submits the bill. But I think the chair has already said something different. But what I'm saying is that he usually starts before he submits the bill. He would ask for a meeting with us, and he would come and he would sit down and talk about it. And sometimes we'll say, well, you know, it's not going to impact the deficit that much or whatever. We may place our comments. Then he will go, he may not submit it, or he may submit, and then we say the same thing that we told him.
I mean, the other board members could weigh in. I mean, there's a difference between a senator putting together a bill and asking for your input. And what I understand he's asking is that we have him come to before board for presentation.
I mean, you know.
I support the bill, as you said, Mr. Nibbs. It's revenue coming in, but I'm going to leave it at that at this point. Thanks again.
Usually the senator would call us and ask us before he submits this proposal. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Chair. Oh.
Go ahead, Mr. Go ahead, Member Ross.
Yes, okay. First of all, I want to thank the members for accepting me part of this esteemed board. And second of all, I was really pleased to have an oath of office because the fiduciary duty is a serious responsibility. I have suggestions for the solvency of the GRS. As a matter of fact, this legislation touches on a portion of the suggestions that I have. And I would ask that the board consider several solutions to solvency in the retreat and have an open forum with all board members to discuss the various suggestions that I have. And I have a letter going out to the chair and the board members with the suggestions, and I want to circulate that. But it's in line with this bill. It's in line with this bill because in the preamble of my letter, I state why the government is absolutely responsible for funding the GRS. Without making a long presentation and preceding my letter, let me say that I believe that the taxing scheme provided by the government to all residents should be considered, not only the hotel room tax. My proposal has at least 20% of the 5 major taxes collected from the government being dedicated for 5 years to the GRS. And I'll repeat them briefly. The hotel room tax is one, and I don't agree with increasing it. I agree with taking 20% for the GRS, but not increasing it. The gross receipt taxes, property taxes, including stamp taxes, corporate taxes, and the gasoline tax paid at the pump. My suggestion would take 20% of these taxes, and it could be done in this budget cycle. And we could approach the senators with providing at least $130 million, and I calculated it because it's half of the payout, which would be a significant dedicated contribution to GRS. And we could reach that half by taking a piece of each tax that the government collects and funding the GRS. I named 5 of the taxes because I know these generate money. Well, like for example, the gross receipt. I understand it was over 160 million. You take 20% of that, that adds to the coffers of the GRS. And I want to discuss that and do the analysis, because you need analysis to find out if you take 20% of the taxes that the government used to operate, how would it affect the operation of the government? And that analysis is not difficult, okay? Because the numbers are available, and during the budget cycle, the senators can adjust the budget of each department to skim off what is necessary to pay GRS. But I think it has to come from a concerted effort from the board of GRS with all of the experts, the input from Mr. Bowery, from Mr. Nibs, from Attorney Williams, Kathy Smith. We need to sit down and come up with a taxing scheme that includes GER at the inception, so that over a 5-year cycle, GERS would become solvent based on that taxing scheme. And I'm going to submit that letter to you, Mr. Bowery and Mr. Nibs. I prepared it and I have it now. And so I would suggest that Mr. Nibs just revised his letter supporting it because that's the consensus of maybe the board, but give the finance committee an introduction to that the board will discuss at a retreat a package that would solve the GERS in unfunded, it won't solve the unfunded liability, but it would solve the immediate concern of the GERS, and then submit a full package before the budget is considered by the legislature. Have somebody come and go to testify, and we as board members lobby for a package that we think could resolve this issue with GERS. And that's, I am going to send everybody a copy of it. That is the first plan A. Plan B talks about having a dedicated funding from the RUM cover over and actually asking the Senate to renegotiate the Diageo and the Crucian RUM deal to get a portion of that money dedicated to GERS. The RUM cover over is a large sum of money that could help GERS. And we need to approach the senators in a way that they understand the gravity of the situation and that the RUM cover over is a funding source to help. The last plan is Plan C, which I support the growth initiative. But to have these initiatives and plans discussed at the retreat, and I'd ask Mr. Nibs to open the door with the senators for further discussion based on a proposal that we could come together at our board retreat and submit to the legislature as a full package. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. I'm definitely in favor. I mean, I think when I mentioned earlier about hearing from board members about strategic things for the retreat, something like that is precisely what I had in mind. That we put as a board, we put together.
Yes.
Because I believe that a lot of centers get shell shocked when they see when they hear the size of the numbers. And I mean, we could show, if we could show a path to get them there or close to there, that would be very helpful. So go ahead and submit the proposal. I mean, in terms of the interaction with the legislature, my thinking was to use the special committee, and I'll yield to you as a former senator. You are aware that there's a subcommittee of the finance committee that has been set up specifically to deal with GERS matters.
And I believe that, oh, sorry.
And we had one preliminary meeting. There was another one scheduled that was preempted when the Lime Tree stuff was preempted by the senator's willingness to deal with the Lime Tree situation that we all know about what's going on. So I'm awaiting for a reschedule of that subcommittee, and I believe that that's the avenue.
Yes,
we ought to use to make our presentations and presence felt.
Absolutely, and I'm aware of the committee, and once I applied to this board, I had the proposal ready to submit to the committee when the committee was formed, but I really believe there's strength in numbers, And if the board comes up with a plan and could present it to the subcommittee, I think we're well on our way to get legislation that could really help the GRS. I have they're not radical, but it's novel to take a piece of the taxes and to, to solve a problem that's been around. But I would love to be part of that meeting where that subcommittee is considering legislation or solutions that would really help solve the GRS problem. So I would like to be included in that meeting if necessary or if possible. I don't know how the protocol, the senator set it up, but I'd like to be part of that. Thank you.
The next session we're having, I'm going to request of the senator that that as many board members as available would be able to attend. I think I think the initial meeting was a kind of feeling out meeting, and so obviously there's some politics behind the scenes that always interplay, as you know very well.
Yes.
So
May I, Ms. Coney, to send the letter now? I have the presentation to send to every board member, and I could send it out email now, so that once I get access to the email of all the trustees members and the legal counsel, I could send that letter out to them now with the proposals, you know?
You can send it after the meeting. Yeah.
Yes, okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, then what I'll do is arrange to have that as part of the board retreat. So on day 2, I would, don't have any management presentations, and on day 2 we'll have governance, strategic planning, and pending legislation update subcommittee, and then we would look at the proposals for the rest of day 2 and also day 3 to come up with some action items. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to do an update also, Mr. Chairman, before Ms. Glendinning comes kill me with this. She wants to update that.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, before Mr. Nibbs go on to something else, just 2 comments I had. I thought, if I was clear, that Attorney Russell would probably send his letter to Ms. Coley, and she could then disseminate it to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah.
And on the bill itself, just an observation, there are a number of references in the bill to a director of the GRS. Mr. Nibbs may want to point out to them that there's no such title, and it should be administrator of the GRS.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they make reference to it in 2 different places, I believe, in the bill.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to update that DOJ has paid their arrearages, came in this morning.
Both rent and?
All their arrearages.
Okay. Thank you.
Council, Chairman to the council. What do you think about that, council? Pedro Williams. The arrears were paid with that letter.
Well, that is the point of sending tenant a notice to quit, is to get them to act. So they've done that. So the letter did its job.
So my question to you, council, should we have sent the same letter to the members at the Haven site? What's your opinion on that?
That's above my pay grade. That's something for the trustees to decide, to discuss and to decide. But that, I mean, sending a notice to quit is a normal process in terms of relationship between a landlord and a tenant. When a tenant owes money and the landlord isn't collecting, then the next step in the legal process is to send a notice to quit.
Thanks for that political answer. I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, so the next, are we done with this item? Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. And I think specifically we're talking about there was a proposed resolution in the last meeting that we didn't get to for the board honoring and commending retiring trustees, and there was some drafts of the proposed letter of recommendation. So I'm not sure, are we asking for board approval to send the letter? Is that what this is about?
What are we, is this unfinished number one, recommendations for honoring? You're doing to?
Yes.
I don't know, that's a trustee issue.
Yeah, I know. I was asking, I guess I was asking Attorney Williams. I mean, is that something that the board needed to approve?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, somebody would have to make a motion to approve the substance of resolution number 9, that's 2021. And once it's approved, then we could make the edits to it. There's a couple of things that need to be changed, but the substance of it is what it's important that the board needs to approve.
Okay. All the board members had a copy, right?
Correct, it was in the packet.
Okay. So do we get a motion to approve?
I move to approve. I move to approve resolution 9-2021.
Second.
Trustee Caldwell?
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey?
Yes.
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Russell? Trustee Russell?
Yes. Abstain. How about abstain?
Okay. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman
Yes.
Barry? Thank you. Chairman Barry?
Yes.
4 yes, 2 absent, 1 abstain.
Okay, so the motion is carried. So we will finalize those resolutions and send them on as appropriate. The next item is to ratify the pool vote on the Haven Site Committee's recommendation with respect to Haven Site Mall Committee recommendation with respect to the abatement of rent for the tenants. And that was something that was circulated, and we conducted a poll vote and got a majority vote. So I'd like to have that ratified.
I move to have the poll vote ratified.
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded.
Trustee Caldwell?
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey?
Yes.
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Russell?
Abstain.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Barry?
Yes.
4 yes, 2 absent, 1 abstain.
Okay. So that's done officially. So the next item on the agenda is for us to get into executive session. So I need a motion discuss personal and legal matters.
I move that we go into executive session to discuss personal and legal matters.
Second.
You know something, you were right. I noticed on the page
Trustee Colwood.
it has
Yes.
that BI for GERS, yesterday has that come. But at least I know what I put.
Trustee Dorsey. Absent. Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Russell,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Barry,
Yes.
4 yes, 3 absent.
I'm here. I'm here. Hello.
So you want to register your vote? Go into executive
Yes,
session?
I didn't hear it. It blinked out. Yes, yes.
Okay. You want to?
Chairman, vote is 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay. So we have a few minutes to need a few minutes to disconnect or to, I'm not sure what the technical term is to put the folks in what's the technical term we use for that?
Mr. Moses going to disconnect everyone except the board and the board chair.
Okay, so you're gonna disconnect, okay.
Or, put them in a waiting room.
So he'll advise us when that's done?
Well, unless you deem otherwise, you would let us know when you want us to come back, but I would let him know to put everyone in a waiting room with exception of the board and the board chair.
Okay.
You tell us when you want us to come in.
All right, I think I want you to stay for the items. I want you to stay.
Okay, fine.
Those corrections.